Hi, babe.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are
Can you?
you?
I'm good. I'm actually signing in from London. I just landed a couple of hours ago.
I
So,
saw and I got worried for a second. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh,
girl,
I was like, she's in like and then you're here. So I'm happy.
I was like, I'm not canceling. I'm not doing that. I want to have this talk with you. I've obviously seen that you actually like watch the show, and have shared your opinion. So I was like, no, I'm not canceling. I checked the time before I left because I got booked for a last minute job, and wasn't going to turn down a bag. So I checked it and it was like 7 p.m. and I don't actually get onto set until tomorrow. So I was like, perfect. I can do it. 11 hours, no sleep, talking into completely gonna be like have verbal diarrhea because I'm now like delirious, but it's totally fine.
Wait, you're a modeling job?
No, no, not modeling. No, no, no. TV, something on TV.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
have you ever modeled? Because I feel like you're a model.
Oh my gosh, no, never. Absolutely not. Not absolutely not, but no, I don't really find myself like that photogenic, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I have to take like 1,000 pictures to like one of them. So I don't, I don't think modeling is my thing. I mean, I feel like if the creative control wasn't in my hands and somebody else was like, you have the look I'm looking for, and they just captured and used what they wanted, I'd be okay. But as a person, I'm way too self-critical because I never grew up in the era of like you had to look good, you just had to be smart when I was growing up. Like
You just had to be smart. What do you mean? What's the era, Chelsea? How old are you?
31.
The era.
But I think I
The
think I think it's because I grew up in London, so it's just a bit different.
Yeah, like in what way?
There's not much of an entertainment industry. So like I grew up wanting to be a doctor, and then I did my master's in oil and gas. So I always envisioned myself being in a corporate environment, being in an office. I worked
Oh.
in corporate for a number of years where like today I barely put any makeup on. I just kind of just whatever. So I wasn't hyper focused on the way I looked ever until like 2.5 years ago. So that's why I mean, like, I never grew up thinking, oh, I was pretty enough to be a model, or oh, I could be on TV. I was always like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to climb the proverbial ladder to become hopefully C-suite in work in a male-dominated industry, and it's going to be 10 times as hard for me, but I'm going to do it because I have the background and I'm going to get the experience to crush it. And that was that was like how my life was going to look.
Really? So you wanted to be,
Yeah.
wait, you wanted you studied oil and gas and wanted to be a doctor?
So I initially wanted to be a doctor. I went to Argentina. I lived in Argentina for half a year. I was doing some volunteer experience at some hospitals there when I was younger, when I was about 17 or 18. Then I did my what we call our A levels, which is I guess maybe the equivalent to SATs. I didn't do the best in like in sciences, so I did okay in like physics and chemistry, but my biology sucked so bad. So I kind of gave up my dream of being like a doctor, and I wanted to go into engineering economics. So I did my undergrad in economics, and then I did my master's in oil and gas economics, and then I worked for an oil and gas company. And
Okay, so we'll get to how that
yeah.
you became, how we all know you today from the Oppenheim Group as an agent, a real estate agent. But just for a second on Argentina, really hot guys there, no?
Oh, I was so young. Yeah, like
Yeah?
Argentina definitely has like the most attractive people, full stop.
Yeah.
Um, I just remember my Spanish was atrocious. People were so nice. I was staying with a host family. So I
Yeah.
was staying with a host family and nobody spoke English. It was
And you had
the
no
best experience of my
Spanish, and
life.
you had no
I
Spanish.
un poquito Spanish. So like same as I have now.
Well, Argentina, that was my dream too, to go to Argentina, but like my credits didn't work out. So I was such a like goody two shoes. If the credits didn't like amount to what I needed, I was like, but the hot guys. Um, so okay, how did that happen? So oil and gas, you think you're gonna be corporate. You said you weren't even interested in like beauty, clothes, all that shit. How did that turn into the Chelsea that we know today from Selling Sunset that's like literally so into fashion, full glam, all that stuff?
I think everybody is multifaceted, you know, we all have many versions of ourselves. So I'd be silly if I didn't like admit that like growing up I was the super girly girl that had the Barbies and was obsessed with fashion and obsessed with glam. But it didn't reign supreme in my life. It wasn't like a main priority, but it was something that I was always so fascinated by. My mom's like a fashion connoisseur, despite my mom being C-level, C-suite executive 90% of her life. She's a fashion connoisseur. She like loved Hermes bags. She loves, I remember when she got her first Chanel, she's always dressed head to toe, like keeps it really clean, you know. So I grew up around a certain aesthetic. When I say aesthetics, I mean like um dress how you want to be treated, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
So that wasn't career, that was just personal. You have to remember, like, for most people, the way one dresses is the way they choose to express themselves. It's not their identity or their lifestyle. When you watch a show like Selling Sunset, you very much see it's like, oh my God, that's their lifestyle. No, it's an expression. And that's what it is for me up until this day.
But do you dress like that off camera? Like with those, I don't, you had some bags. I don't even remember. Was it like a little phone bag that like nothing fit in it? Like you had some crazy accessories and stuff on the show.
Sometimes it just depends where I'm going, right? Like if
Yeah.
I've got two little kids, so if I'm doing something with my children, no, I'm in the I love sweats. I'm in really baggy, comfortable sweats. I got a hat
So
on.
I
I just got
love
off the
that.
plane.
I love
You know,
it.
like I just
You
got
look,
off the plane.
by the way,
Sorry,
I'm such a dude right now, but you look so good right now. Like
oh my gosh, I
I'm
got
like,
like no makeup on,
but
like
see,
no
I'm a dude.
lashes.
Don't you
I
know how
love it.
dudes are always like, I love you when you're natural, and they're like so annoying. So that's me. But that's how I feel. Like I feel like it looks so good, like you in that hat, the tank top.
Yeah, that's me. That is me 99.999% of the time. I love fashion, but also fashions can be very uncomfortable. I think for me, I came on the show a little bit later. So I had watched the show and I had recognized the things that I enjoyed about the show. So I leaned into the things that I
You
enjoyed about the
leaned
show.
in.
So when I watched the show, I was obsessed with Christine's fashion. I watched it. I was like, she looked like my Barbie doll. Like she literally looked like
Wow.
my Barbie doll, like my favorite Barbie doll. And she kind of did it better than my Barbie doll, right? I wasn't even paying attention to the storylines or the drama. I was paying attention to the real estate and the fashion. So I think when I came on the show, those are the two things I took the most seriously.
Yeah. Christine. Wait, are you friends with her?
I don't really speak to, well, I mean, I haven't spoken to her months. Like, I
Yeah.
think to be transparent with you, you know, I was cast on the show and they kind of put me and her together. And our relationship existed beautifully in the confines and the construct of the show. I have never gone out to lunch with her. She's never been over to my house. I've never been over to her house. It was all like, you know, our relationship existed when we're filming. We were like closest because we were like filming scenes together. Producer say, "Oh, you're going to lunch with Christine? Okay, bet." You know, but
Yeah.
we never had a personal relationship, and
Mm.
I think that was kind of like misconstrued from
Yeah.
watching the show.
Chelsea, you know what I'm remembering now? I'm bringing you
Yeah.
back to people thinking your accent was fake when you first
Oh,
came on.
bloody hell,
How did that happen? Like, how did that
girl.
conspiracy,
Girl,
how
girl,
did
I
that,
was thinking of, you know, it's so funny. It's so funny you say that. Actually, stay there 1 second. I'm gonna show you something. Ah!
she said bloody hell, okay, you guys, she's really British, okay? Oh, there it is.
So I
Yes.
just saw it over the corner. So I don't really,
You guys,
honestly, I
she's
don't.
showing me, for those who are listening and not viewing, she's showing me her passport that says United Kingdom of Great Britain. That's
It's
so funny. How did
um
that happen? Like people thought it was like too much of an accent. Like, do you remember how that transpired?
yeah, I do. I actually remember, and I was thinking about it today.
When you were looking at your
So
passport, you're like, somebody.
yeah, no, because I was going through customs and I brought up both passports. So I've got an American passport, I've got a British passport. I actually have a Nigerian passport. I'm African as well. So I was bringing out two out of three of my passports, and I was like, I remember when those little shits said my accent was fake. but now I know why they did, and fine, it's okay. Um, when I started filming, and I was filming with the likes of Christine, primarily, she has a very strong, like, I guess it's like a Valley Girl accent. She does the whole, "Hi, how are you?" You know, it's so annoying. But she does the high, like, "Oh my god, hi." And being someone that had never taken selfies, never been in the public space before, never been on TV, never had a camera in front of me, I think naturally, especially because I had lived in so many different countries growing up. I'm of African descent. I lived in the UK, lived in New York, I lived in Switzerland. I've been all about the gaff. I kind of mimicked her tonality, you know, just because I felt like she was the most comfortable person on set that I had ever seen. Mind you, she was the first person. So she'd be like, my first scene with her, I'd be like, "Hi, my name's Chelsea Lazkani." And I think about saying it now because I was just trying to learn what to do when the cameras are rolling. So maybe my accent shifted a little bit. And then I think now, if you watch the seasons, the more I got comfortable on screen, the more I just relaxed into my natural tone.
You think that subconsciously you didn't know you were doing it? You were kind of mimicking
Yeah,
Christine?
yeah. Mimicking, like, like, I think it's actually a thing. People do it frequently. Like, if I go to Nigeria and I'm around a lot of my Nigerian friends and they speak a lot of broken English, I start having a bit of an African accent
Yeah.
because it's a dialect I'm familiar with. So it just, like, now that I'm in London, in about 3 days' time before I leave, my accent's going to be proper strong.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's going to
yeah.
be proper strong. The more I spend time with Americans, the more my accent becomes a little bit more
Yeah.
American. The more I spend time, so it was just a natural thing, but it's almost like it wasn't a big deal. You know,
Yeah.
like
So
it's okay. Like,
it's
it's
not
not
that
that serious.
serious.
Yeah.
It's the people that know me that are listening know that I love different ways that people speak. Like, I sometimes put on Valley Girl and people can get like upset with me because it's more fun. Sometimes it's more fun to speak in all different ways than just be like, "Hi, Chelsea, how are you today?" Like you want to have fun with it. Like
Absolutely.
get crazy, get wild. I don't know if you guys know, but Husb is a low-key fashion icon. And today he's obviously more toned down because he is a dare and a zare. But he exclusively, like literally I can say exclusively, shops at Scotch and Soda. He's always on their website because they always have like great deals on teas and they have really nice teas because guys, I mean, he's not the type of guy to wear like a button down to dinner. He's wearing a t-shirt, but obviously it's going to be like a nice t-shirt, an elevated t-shirt. And that's what Scotch and Soda has, just elevated basics, but also outerwear and, for evening. And I was like, okay, I'll shop at Scotch and Soda too. Okay. They have a women's section that is popping off. And not only that, they now have a Scotch and Soda Joe Jonas capsule collection. Okay. We love that style icon. His collection features a mix of men's and unisex clothing and accessories and really encompasses Joe's confident approach to style. He is a confident man. We know he loves like the 70s, vintage. So he really is like such a vibe. And together with Scotch and Soda, it's just like a dynamic wardrobe that is built to last. I got a couple items from there. This really cute kind of blousey vibe. And Husband actually just got a new coat from Scotch and Soda. Such a vibe, you guys. The Scotch and Soda and Joe Jonas collection is now available at scotchandsoda.com, EUNUS, and select retailers. Use code NOTSKINNY to get 20% off your first order at Scotch and Soda. Visit scotchandsoda.com for more information. I just saw this reel. I mean, I'm being so targeted right now, but it was like this mom that was like, how are you going to have kids? Do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. Clean the house, make sure everything's okay. Like, obviously, everything with the kids, plus feed them. Like, it's just like, how are you preparing 3 meals a day for yourself, for your significant other, for your kids? So having a situation that is set up for you, like a meal delivery service, is priceless. CookUnity is the one that I use. So let CookUnity help you with a wide variety of restaurant quality food from award-winning chefs. And honestly, it's just so convenient because it comes to your door. It's easy and effortless. You can choose from hundreds of meals prepared by award-winning chefs, okay? And they also arrive fully cooked. Like, love you meal services that like you have to cook yourself and you feel like Martha Stewart for a minute. But what I need is to microwave or to put in the oven. Like, that's the maximum. Like, heat it up as quickly as possible. So this is what I love about CookUnity. Arrives at your door is chef created meals and they're heatable. That's what all you have to do is heat them. Okay. So take a load off and let CookUnity handle dinner. Affordable food crafted by award-winning chefs delivered to your door. Go to cookunity.com/notskinny or enter code notskinny before checkout for 50% off your first week. That's 50% off your first week by using code notskinny or going to cookunity.com/notskinny. How are you doing? How are you right now? Because I mean,
Today I'm good.
You look good.
Oh my God, thank God we don't look like what we've been through. Because if I look like what I've been through, I would look like, one of those things that kids play with that you smash on the floor and it goes. That would be me. If we look like what we've been through, that little ball that the kids have, and they're like, "Oh my God, mommy, look at this!" Boing, and then it's like,
yeah,
it looks like Squidward's face. That would be my face if I look like what I'd been through. That would be me. So thank God.
So we know what you've been through, right? From the show. Like, we saw it play out on this season of Selling Sunset. Lots of drama. I feel like going into it because of the drama on Instagram, we didn't know the season was headed this way, right? We thought the drama was more with the Emma stuff and Nicole, and we got a completely different season, which was centered around you. So from what we saw on the show, we saw Bree, her friend calling her, being like, "Hey, what's up? I have some tea." They meet. The friend tells her the tea. It's about your husband. Bree's grappling with whether to tell you or not. You end up taking her to dinner, to drinks, and trying to get it out of her. And then she did what? Can you clear it
No.
up for us?
Okay.
No.
Okay. So I'm just gonna try to make it as concise as possible, just so like the listeners and the viewers can just really understand it in one streak. Timeline wise, Bree calls Emma and says she's heard something from one of her friends, an allegation towards my ex-partner. Emma calls me and tells me this allegation. I call Bree. This is all off camera, mind you. I call Bree and have a conversation about 35 minutes long with her about the Syed allegation. Bree was extremely caring, extremely warm during that conversation, despite the fact that we had had times in which we had spoken, but we weren't super close. We had spent some time together over Halloween. We had had many conversations. We were working on our relationship, but we weren't super close. During that conversation, we weren't filming when this information was brought to me. When I had this conversation with Brie, we weren't filming. I knew we were about to start filming maybe in a couple of weeks. So I said to Brie, like, girl, like, cut the shit. Like, what do you want to do with this information? Like, you're sitting here with me, like, you're talking to me about this allegation because that's what it is. And you seeming like a girl's girl and you seeming like you really care, because Bree's gone for a divorce. She said, her words to me was, it was the most traumatic period of her life. So what do you want to do with this? And she's like, Chelsea, I will never bring this to camera. Never going to bring it to camera. I would never do that to you. I would never. For the first time in my life, like, I said to myself, like, man, everything I said about this woman's family, I'm sick. Like, as much as I apologized to her, I felt like I owed her even more of an apology, because, like, she could have used that as an opportunity to be tit for tat with me, and no one would judge her or question her, because I did make some very strong statements against her family, and you protect your family with every fiber of your being. So I really respected her in that moment. And I thought this was the start of a really great relationship for me and her. We started filming, and you could probably see that me and her were kind of cool, despite the fact that she was, you know, now when I watched it, throwing shade at me, saying, I don't know if I could come back to the office because Chelsea, la, la, la. She has her own little storyline in her head that she wants to run with for her TV world. But that's fine. We were cool. Like, there are many moments that we spoke that you probably didn't even see on camera that we like bonded. We were cool. Now, I remember off camera, she was mentioning something along the lines of, you know, so what happened was we started filming. The first 6 weeks of filming, she didn't show up for. She didn't show up for the first 6 weeks of filming. I'm not sure the reason, but I know production were very like pissed. They were angry, and there were talks of like, oh, she was going to bring her partner on, her famous partner, on screen. So obviously production would chew that up in a second. Turns out that didn't work out, and she had said to, I believe, Emma, like, shit, she doesn't really have a storyline, you know, like, she's missed first 6 weeks of filming, she doesn't really have a storyline. So this is neither here nor there as far as I'm concerned. I'm just like, you know, we're all going about filming. Now, about a couple weeks after that, you know, I'm dealing with some real life stuff, some real life personal stuff, because you have to remember a couple weeks before that, what Brie has told me
You were
personally.
told, or you knew already. Yeah.
So I'm dealing with some stuff personally, and I try my best in everything. And I know I get a lot of heat for being like, why don't you talk to your husband on screen? My ex-husband does not get paid by Netflix. Netflix does not pay him. Netflix does not pay my household. Netflix does not pay my mortgage. Netflix do not pay my children. So when people are asking whether or why this person's not seen on screen or that person's not seen on screen, the people that you see on screen get paid, you know, that's myself. So I can't address someone that's not there to defend themselves, or address someone that's not there to, it's not fair. It's not fair. And I try to protect that space as much as possible. So
Wait, Chelsea, can I just ask? So you're
yeah.
filming for those 6 weeks, knowing what you know and
Mm-hmm.
pretending that everything's fine and normal.
Well, I know what I know, but it's an allegation. I
At
don't
that
have
point.
any. Yeah, I no
Oh,
no. Yeah, I don't have any confirmation whatsoever. This is my, someone that allegedly doesn't really like me's
said
friend,
that. Right,
without
right.
nothing, with no substance, no nothing. You know what I
So
mean?
did
So
you even believe it at that point? Were you seeking confirmation, proof? Did you
to be
confront
honest with
your
you, to
ex?
to to be honest with you, like, I don't want to talk about what happened privately,
Okay.
but what I knew during that point in time was it wasn't an issue in my personal relationship at that point in time. It just wasn't. It
Hmm.
wasn't something. It was something that I was dealing with, but it wasn't an issue. Put it like
Hmm.
that.
Got it.
Because if it was an issue, if it was an issue, I probably, anyways, just I just want to be careful about speaking about my ex partner, just because he's not in this public world, and I just don't think it's fair, you know, to bring someone that's not in the public world public. As much as they already did it, I
Right.
try as much on screen to, you know, respect the fact that my children will one day have to grow up and see a lot of stuff that only one of us chose to be in the public limelight, and I just try to protect them. But nonetheless, okay, so we now continue filming, and I'm lying in bed one day, and Emma calls me, and she's like, Chelsea, are you by yourself? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, just take a deep breath. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, Amanda just had a scene with Brie, and everything Brie mentioned, Amanda said on screen to Brie at this lunch scene. So I immediately like start spiraling, right? I start spiraling because I've gone from filming a little bit, we're filming real estate, you know, I'm going through some personal things, but I'm trying to keep my life together. I'm just trying to like navigate everything. And now something that I didn't really know what was the situation on is now made it onto screen. So that takes place, and I speak to production, and they're basically, they're obviously very happy. They basically let me know that Brie called production and said her friend Amanda has some tea, allegedly, on my ex-partner, set up a scene. So at that point in time, obviously, like, I'm just like, I feel like I'm more just sad than anything, because I was just like, damn, like, y'all are bringing alleged tea to screen, like stuff that, like, even true or false, like, my marriage would never survive that type of thing. Never, y'all, and then the thing is, right, so Brie she had made several comments. So obviously now I'm sitting down, right, with, this is me, Emma, and Chrishell on the sofa. I'm wearing the white, Emma's in the middle, Chrishell's there. And I guess Emma knows what's going on. She understands everything that took place, and the fact that, Brie had set up the scene and brought it to camera. I'm assuming because obviously she didn't like me, fair, because of the things I said. But I'm also assuming because she didn't have a storyline, because her partner was no longer going to come on screen and they needed some whatever juice. But I'm sitting there, and sorry, I haven't let you speak this whole time.
No, that's me listening. I'm so interested.
So I'm sitting there, and you see me say cool Brie,
Right.
because Chrishell, Emma mentioned, Emma's like, well, don't you think this is kind of like weird that this suddenly came about? You don't think Brie had any hand in it, right? It's because when I had that first scene with Brie, where I set up the scene for her to tell me, she had told me that the producers randomly called this Amanda girl. For whatever reason, when you're under so much stress and pressure, you kind of just believe stuff that don't even make sense, right? For me, when I'm calm and collected, 1+1 must equal 2.
So you're saying at the dinner you believed her, at the bar, wherever you met, you believed the
Yeah,
story?
yeah. I wouldn't have given her props if I didn't.
But Chelsea, I have to ask, like, as viewers, we obviously want to know that the show is real, right? And feel like we're watching stuff that is happening. It's reality TV, okay? At that bar meeting, you already knew, but like we don't know as viewers that you knew.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
still, yeah, yeah. Did you have to do that?
yeah,
Could you have
yeah.
said like I know already? Because
You
Emma
know what
told
the
me.
crazy, the crazy thing is, Amanda? The crazy thing is, I set up that scene because I've been in reality TV for what, 2.5 years now. They would have taken that story, and I may not be here today, quite honestly, because the way this reality TV works is they could have taken that, put me at a listing appointment that I'll open, have Amanda come in and shit on my face. Because this bitch is so desperate to be on TV.
Oh, she
You know what I
is.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
I
see what I'm
said that.
saying? She's got venom for me, someone that doesn't even know me, because she's so desperate to be on TV. Granted, I can't completely negate the fact that reality TV is reality TV, and we do like make scenes to
Yeah.
retell a certain story.
Yeah, it's like pickups though. We've learned about this in Bravo shows, like things that weren't shown because they weren't filmed. Sometimes, yeah, the reality TV stars, even though they're not actors, are gonna have to do it again on camera because we missed it. Like we know
So
that, we accept it.
So what happened was, when I found out that Amanda and Brie had filmed this scene, and Brie had set up this scene to bring Amanda on to tell this alleged tea, I said to myself, I spoke to you know, I spoke to a couple of people that I trust dearly, and I was just like, let me try and control this as much as I can, because this is
Mm.
my life. So I was like, if she tells me, then she doesn't have to sit in the office and laugh about it. You see what I'm saying? Because I already know deep down she doesn't like me. She doesn't have to sit in the office in front of 8 people and laugh about it on the day that I don't make it. And then have Amanda, Nicole, Mary, Alana, all these people gossiping behind my back, you know? So I was like, if I set up this scene and she tells me, and in the scene, which you don't see, I'm like, can you not mention this in the office? Then I only get to, we move forward that season, that the only time it's talked about is when I'm involved.
Right.
However, when I watched the show, you see how it got twisted, because that was me trying to take control of my mental health, to be like, I can still make money, because if I decide to say I'm a fall back because I'm depressed, because my life is falling apart, I don't make money, we are still going to run my business to everybody anyway, because it's already been filmed. But if I try to take control a little bit, and you saw me after that moment, I only had intimate scenes with Chrishell and Emma because those are people that I trusted.
Right. So you're saying
I hope that makes
people,
sense.
no, it does. So you're saying that people advise you, some people that know kind of the world of reality TV and stuff, kind of gave you that tip of like, get yourself involved, set up the scene so that you're in it from the beginning? Or is that, did you think of that?
No, it was my, honestly, it was my publicist.
Oh, okay. Smart.
It was
Smart.
my publicist. She was like, I think she's like, this person's brought it to camera. It's a storyline. Um, you can only control what you can control, Chelsea. Get her to tell you. If this woman doesn't like you and you try your best to get her to tell you, she can't then go and tell us, otherwise she's going to look crazy. To allow her
Wow.
to tell you directly.
You really broke the fourth ass wall this season. Like that was something interesting to see about Selling Sunset because that had never happened before. And because of the situation, the fourth wall was broken. Like when you were sitting with Chrishell and Emma and you're like, call her on the phone. And then, Emma's like, she brought it to camera. Like even that sentence, like brought it to camera. Like we've never heard that before.
Amanda, my thing is, right, I did you dirty, right? I made mistakes. I'm not perfect. I said things I shouldn't have said. Whether I believe them or not, that's irrespective. I talked about your family. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. And I admitted that many times. I shouldn't have. I definitely shouldn't have, because I now realize how protective I am of my family.
Mm.
If you were looking to get one back on me, own it. Don't be a coward. Own it.
Mm.
Don't be a fucking bitch.
Okay, because you guys, what Chelsea's saying here is that what Bree's saying is that Amanda randomly was like, "Hey, I have tea." She had no idea it was going to be about Chelsea. She had no idea it was this story, and whoops, she said it on camera, and here it is.
But how did Amanda even get here, girl? Like, let's be for real, okay? There would be a line down Sunset Boulevard of people that wanted to be on Selling Sunset. There'd be a line of people down Sunset Boulevard that want to engage in talking about Bree or tea about Bree TAC if you gave them the opportunity. The reason why Amanda had that scene with you is because you called production and said, hey, if I call production and say, hey, I've got tea on Bree, my friend has tea on Bree, you think they're not going to set up the scene tomorrow?
Yeah.
You think they're not going to set up the scene
But do you
tomorrow?
think she said what tea, or do you just think tea on Chelsea? Or did she say this girl is going to say on camera that her
No,
husband did something?
well, she already told me the tea.
No, I know. So do you think she told, right? But did she tell production exactly what's gonna go down in the meeting?
She told production she has tea on, alleged tea on my
Your
ex-spouse,
ex.
is
So
what she
they
said.
knew. Okay.
So
And
they didn't
she's
know
not
what it was
admitting
though.
that.
She's
She's
not
not.
admitting it. She's not admitting it.
She's saying that Amanda wanted to meet up, spill some gossip about God knows what. She didn't know it was that. And she's
Yeah,
holding to that.
because the 20 people behind the camera they're going to waste Netflix and production dollars to sit there and talk about the sky being blue. No.
Yeah.
Production are going to be like, what is it? Is it worth our time?
So what?
Thirsty bitch wants to be on camera anyway.
Okay.
You know?
Listen, Amanda want to be on camera. And if I'm, how are you going to feel about that if they end up hiring this girl to Oppenheim Group?
Well, I'm out. If they, I don't even know where I stand now, but I'm 100%
Yeah.
unequivocally out.
Yeah. That was a very intense, like thirsty, I want to get on, I don't care how situation. Babies, you don't know what they want. They're crying. You're like, oh, does your tummy hurt? Does your this hurt? Does your that hurt? And like most of the time you assume that it's tummy. So I immediately got my hands on some Boiron because Boiron is just an amazing homeopathic brand that makes stuff for everything. So they have Camilla Tummy by Boiron, which soothes gas and colic in babies. And they also have a teething formula. So I just love Boiron. I take it for myself. I take the thing that what's it called? When you start having a cold and it kind of like stops the cold. I take that. I also took from them something for acid reflux while I was pregnant. So that's like my go-to. Like I'm looking for something homeopathic and natural. I go to Boiron. So obviously for my babies, I've been using Boiron Camilla Tummy. Okay. Like I said, it soothes gas and colic symptoms in one tummy taming formula. It's this little dropper that you drop into your baby's mouth, and Lenny like honestly loves it. And even like that action kind of calms him down because it's like changing up the vibes. It's like, wah, wah. Oh, what are you dropping in here? So you guys, if your baby is having some tummy issues or you just want to have it on hand in case, get the Camilla Tummy by Boiron. Claims are based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated. Visit Boiron USA and use code NOTSKINNY at checkout for 20% off your purchase of any Camilla medicine. That's Boiron, that's spelled BOIRON USA.com, and use code NOTSKINNY for 20% off of any Camilla tummy medicine. So when you have a baby, you learn that you're supposed to swaddle them in the hospital. The nurses do it in a jiff. You're like, cool, I can do it. Then you YouTube instructions and you just, if you're me, just don't have that coordination. Like I don't have the like wrap, put under, put over. Like I can do it, but it doesn't look like the way it looks like when the nurses do it. So for me, it's always been swaddles that come with Velcro, that come with zippers, that are predispositioned swaddles, okay? I don't need you to give me a blanket and tell me to swaddle. I need it to be a swaddle. So Dreamland Baby is one of my faves because they also make weighted swaddles that really help the baby feel like they're still in the womb and they're still like encompassed and they just have that little weight that adds the comfort that they need. So what I love about it is they have for different stages, but for like actual babies, there's a little like swaddle situation inside. So you put both sides, Velcro, and then you zip them up and they're nice and cozy in there, nice and warm, nice and cocooned. So Dreamland Baby, I highly recommend checking out their weighted swaddle. It can really help and make a difference with your kids' sleep. So check it out, Dreamland Baby. They also have amazing apparel, and like I said, for different ages, like once they're ready to put their arms kind of in through sleeves, they have that in a weighted option. They have a toddler blanket that's weighted, and they also have cute little PJs. So go to dreamlandbabyco.com and enter my code NOTSKINNY at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide and free shipping. So like I said, you can get 20% off at Dreamland Baby by going to dreamlandbabyco.com and enter my code NOTSKINNY. You know, I'm here, your girl, telling you to make sure to stock up on Philadelphia cream cheese. And it's so funny, you guys noticed that in one of my stories the other week when I was having a girl dinner, you were like, you noticed my Philadelphia cream cheese there. And you're like, you weren't lying. You really do snack on it all the time. And I'm like, I never lie to you bees, okay? What was I eating that night? I was dipping like gluten-free crackers in them and feeling like just so healthy, you know? And what I always tell you about Philadelphia cream cheese is that it makes everything creamier. Like, yes, you could smear it on a bagel. Yes, you could, smear it on a piece of toast, but did you know it makes everything creamier? So yes, love dipping the veggies, the crackers, all that stuff. But did you know it could be used as an enhancer? It enhances not only your life, but it can enhance your guacamole. It can enhance your creamy pasta Alfredo that you're whipping up, okay? Your buffalo chicken dip. Like I made just like a creamy pasta for Noah with it. I was like, okay, what am I going to throw in here? Some butter, some cream cheese, some shredded cheese. Like, okay, we're not all chefs. But if you literally look up on TikTok, like Philadelphia cream cheese recipes, you're going to see like you can be a chef with Philadelphia cream cheese. So yeah, like I said, Philadelphia makes everything creamier. Visit creamcheese.com for recipe inspiration, and so you can start adding Philadelphia to your recipes at home. Visit creamcheese.com. Okay, so now this is where we stand. We stand with Brie. She's holding to her guns. She's saying, I didn't know. You're saying she did it on purpose to set me up.
But Amanda,
I love when you say my name. Yes, keep going.
So you're saying, so I just, because things have to make sense to me, right? And they have to make sense to everybody else for
Right.
it to be a story. You've already told me the alleged tea that you have. Now you call production to say your friend has tea, but you say you don't know the tea. What other tea is there?
Yeah, right. Okay, that's an important part of the timeline. You're right, Chelsea. We need to remind everybody. Part one of the timeline is off camera before they even start filming Selling Sunset. You get on the phone with Brie. She tells you what she's heard. Blah,
Correct.
blah, blah. You start filming, and then she sets up this scene with Amanda to go on camera about alleged tea that she doesn't know is that tea, but it's like, but that was the tea you got. And
months
Amanda
before.
and Amanda is the same one who gave her the
Yeah.
original. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like huge, obviously, betrayal. And by the way, I want to remind everyone listening that what you're saying that you regret saying about her family is when you learned about Brie and Nick Cannon and like the fact that
I didn't learn about it. It was already on TMZ.
Right. It was like it was everywhere. I mean, everyone
It
knows
was everywhere.
And by the way, like a lot of people have opinions. There are lots of memes. There are lots of things about the amount of kids Nick Cannon has and wives, and if they all hang out, if they're sister. I mean, we don't know. You were a little judgmental of it, right? Is that the word? Like you were
Correct.
like, what is that?
I was way too judgmental of it. It wasn't my place to be that judgmental, you know. I think
And you really regret that.
I regret being. I think everybody should have their personal opinions and keep them to themselves when it comes to other people's families, you know. I think that
I mean, listen, when you're on a reality show, though, let me remind people, like the housewives of Beverly Hills aren't keeping their mouths shut.
I know,
You
but
know?
but I think one thing that this year has taught me is I've been humbled by the fact that life is hard. Being a mum is hard. Being a wife is hard. We're doing the best that we can. Like,
Yeah.
I could talk about your work ethic. I could talk about your attitude. I could talk about your dress sense. But I think I'm going to stop when I talk about your family because, you know, it's very hard to keep a relationship. It's very hard to find love. It's very hard to be a mum. It's very hard to be a single mum, you know, and those are the struggles that she had, you know, and we all have. So I felt like I could have definitely given her more grace, and I could have just minded my business, because I also could have been like, oh, kind of have these feelings, but you know, you seem happy and you seem like you're a good mum and you're doing the best you can, so like I don't really want to dive deep into it. But I didn't, and I took the bait, and I was stupid, and I voiced opinions that I may have personally had out loud, and they were very judgmental, and
Yeah.
I tried to apologize time and time again. It fell on deaf ears because I think the fact that I was saying it was more of a problem. When the world says it, it's okay, but when Chelsea says it, it's problematic for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Right.
So yeah, apology never really, it never really got accepted, and that's why I am where I'm at today.
Do you
So
feel
and that's
like,
fine. I just wish you would own it, just own it.
yeah, like why? And she's like, I'm a real bitch kind of gal,
Yeah, you're like,
usually.
I'm a real bit. No, you're a coward. You're a coward. You're a pussy. That's what you are. Because if you
Did
weren't, own it.
did you expect Emma and Chrishell to immediately stop being friends with her?
No, so you know what the funny thing is, right? Throughout the whole time filming, I started to become a little bit cognizant of where things were going, because there were so many times while filming, I was like, guys, like, I don't care. I really want y'all to stop talking about this. You know what I really want more than anything is for this not to be a topic in your mouths until the day those cameras turn off. Please, I'm
Yeah.
begging you. Emma and Chrishell, they were specific, very heavy on, and I don't know if this was for their own personal reasons, they were very heavy on the fact that they wanted to get to the bottom of it. Now, I don't know if this was because that was a way for for them to fulfill their obligations, you know, but they kept going on about Brie, whether Brie did it or she didn't do it, and that's how you saw the storyline evolve. Meanwhile, girl, I'm I'm going through the worst period of my life. I don't fucking care. Like, respectfully, I don't care. And that's why everything kind of got really sticky when this show came out, because I watched the show and there was so little understanding and compassion to something I still deal with now, you know? And it became this, did she bring it to camera or did she not bring it to camera war fest? And I'm sitting, I know what it is. You know what it is. The producers done told us what it is. She knows what it is. So why is half the season this beef that I don't have? I've already said, okay, I did it to you, you did something to me. It's checkmate. I'm not even acknowledging the fact that you're being a coward and in it. I'm actually, my mindset's actually over here, and I'm like, don't drown, Chelsea. Don't drown. Don't drown. Don't drown.
But
Don't drown.
you did tell Chrishell, call her. Like, you wanted to air it out at that point.
At that point in time, that was the very first time that, like, we're all together. So I already had heard it from producers, to be honest with you. They told me that she set up the scene. But this was the first time all three of us are together. And I'm like, call her.
Oh, because you're saying, okay, wait, just to make everyone on the same page. You're at that point with Emma and Chrishell, and they're talking about whether, wait, but did she do that or did she not? But you, okay, sorry, I'm tracking now. Did she do it?
Like,
whereas like it's a known thing, like
knows. Yeah, Emma knows. Emma's like, oh yeah, she already knows.
Right, and Chrishell's not convinced.
The reason why Emma knows is because Brie told Emma first.
Right, before she told you. Right, that I remember. I'm tracking.
Right.
Okay.
So
Chrishell at that point in that scene, does she not believe that Brie did that on purpose?
Yes, because Chrishell's out of the loop.
What? How is she out of the loop? You guys don't talk to each other? I don't understand.
No, because when Brie told Emma and Emma told me and I had the conversation with Brie, I was like, keep this here. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, and so Emma really didn't tell Chrishell.
Emma really didn't tell Chrishell.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah, Emma really didn't tell Chrishell. So Chrishell's a little bit confused. She's like, what the fuck? You know?
She's actually, so at that point, Emma's like, okay, Brie sucks. She brought this to camera. You're like, Brie sucks. Chrishell's like, I don't know. Like, would she do that? And you were like, yes, call her. Put her on the spot.
Yes,
okay,
call her. Call her right now. So I'm like, call her right now. Like, can she, because we're filming.
First of all, I have to say, and I know this is your life, and I'm the first person to understand that, because reality TV, I love it. I love learning about it. I know this is your real life. That was really great TV. Like, when you did that and you put that on the spot and you could see Chrishell struggling, you know, because Selling Sunset moments, like we talked about, there are times where you're not sure what's real. Like, is this house real? Like, everyone's kind of like accepting it at face value. That moment, and by the way, all the moments with you this season were so real, so emotional. I can't imagine going through what you did on camera. Your tears brought us to tears. We all felt for you so much. So that, just, you know, like, I really think you're amazing. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that on camera. Do you think that joining reality TV, I mean, so many people say like it's kind of like a curse on relationships?
Sorry, give me a second.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Chelsea.
No, it's okay. Okay. I think it's very difficult in relationships, but I think, and it's not going to make or break a relationship. Like, reality TV is not going to make or break a relationship. That's for a fact. But it does add additional strains. I also think life adds additional strains. Children add strains. Money adds strains. Everything can strain a relationship. I mean, what is a divorce rate at this point? So no, I would never ever blame reality TV for the failure of my marriage whatsoever.
Is there anything you can tell us? I know that you don't want to bring him into it aside from kind of what we saw, but did you end up filing for divorce because of this allegation that we learned about on the show?
Honestly, I can't talk about my divorce at all.
Okay.
I don't think it's, I don't like, I love authenticity. I love transparency. I never want to lie to you guys. So I'd rather just be honest and say, I can't talk about it because I really want to respect the other party.
Wow, that's really great of you. A lot of people would be like, fuck that, and use their platform to kind of shame them. We want to know though, because we saw you kind of checking out a new house at the end of the season. Did you get the New Beginnings house?
No, I
No.
didn't. I'm still in Manhattan Beach, which is amazing because I live in what was our marital home is now my home. So
And that feels
yeah.
okay to you? Like that gives you that's not giving the new beginning vibes that you were.
Well, my children live in Manhattan Beach. They go to school in Manhattan Beach. I I wanted to do the less amount of transition and changes for them. Like the
Yeah.
most important thing are my kids, and everything worked out the way it should work out, and I'm happy. And my kids are happy, and they're very close to their mummy and their daddy. So
That's the most important. And what about
yeah.
Emma and Chrishell? I mean, you said on the show, and that pissed off Brie too, because you were like, "These are my best friends. These are my best friends," and she was like, "I know these are my best friends." Like she got, it felt very high school for a moment. Like it felt like the both of you were kind of fighting over Emma and Chrishell because she's kind of losing them to you in a way, you know? Um,
Well,
yeah,
yeah. This is why reality TV just becomes really difficult sometimes. Love Emma, love Chrishell, like truly amazing. Um, spend a lot of time with them when we don't bring out our phones and we don't, are not performative for cameras or whatever. And I don't really want to speak for anyone else's relationship, but I will because I have eyes too. Um, if the only time you spend together is to do a designated TikTok day, are you really friends?
yeah,
Are you really friends? You know, it's hard because you come on the show, right? And I came on the fifth season. You're like, okay, who do I want to be friends with? Who do I vibe with? Who do I gel with? Everyone does that, okay? She came on the show and she formed bonds with Emma and Chrishell, but me and her had a rift. And their relationship was primarily like, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh my god, here you are judging someone else's relationship again.
what you're saying is they were fake friends, you were real friends. I feel like is the vibe.
100%. I
Okay.
don't 100%. Because because I'm not I don't if 90% of
No,
the time
but
I call my friends to hang out, it's to have a TikTok person come and take TikToks for social media. We're not real friends.
right.
We're not real friends.
So you and
That's
Emma
just
and
is what it,
Chrishell really had like a real relationship outside the show. And are you still just as good? Because you mentioned before something that you were, correct me if I'm wrong, you were a little upset maybe that they continued the narrative of trying to dig deeper when you just wanted them to
yeah,
leave it
I
alone.
was very upset watching the show back and seeing that this whole narrative formed was, did she bring to the show, did she not bring to the show,
Right.
after I had, kind of poured my heart out. It
Yeah.
made me very sad. And it's not changed my relationship with them because they've really helped me navigate the hardest year of my life. But it did disappoint me. I won't
Yeah.
lie. It did disappoint me.
Did
But
you try to get to the bottom? I know you were saying like you don't know why, if it's that they really wanted to get to the
it's
bottom.
I know what it is. I know what it is. It's
Mm.
TV. It's TV, and you're being called and you're being asked to talk about something, and you're just like you're backed against the wall, and you're just like, "Ugh, I guess I have to, you know, I
Yeah.
guess I have to." So I understand the nature of the job. I think it's just a lot harder when it's something that's really sad going on. You know, I have two babies.
How was the outpouring of support from the public? I mean, I imagine like, you
It
know,
sucked.
really? I was sure you would have gotten so much love and support from the fans.
You know what? And this is probably why I still can't sleep properly at night. Is because definitely had the worst year of my life. Definitely still going through the worst year of my life. But watching the show back, so if you asked me why I filmed it, I would have said pat myself on the back. I'm really proud of the way I navigated it, in how elegant I was not to like throw anyone under the bus. I didn't
Right.
throw under, I didn't throw my ex under, I didn't throw anyone under. Watching the show, it would look I threw Brie under and I didn't want to confront my ex. When that was not the case, it just wasn't the case. You know, I stated multiple times, I really don't care whether Brie brought it on. That never got shown. It the show moved into a direction that I didn't even foresee coming. I didn't even foresee the other side of things. Uh, and there was just a lack of care and compassion towards me, to what I was dealing with, towards the fact that this is my real life. And then there was the flip side of, let's make the audience question whether or not Brie is a stand-up human or not, and let's show that maybe she actually was a stand-up human, and she thing by Chelsea, and Chelsea just wanted to scapegoat her and blame her. And I'm like, goat her and blame her. Child, do you know, like, I have children that are going through real life changes right now, and you think I'm worried about, you know, like, it
But
was
Chelsea, I have to say, like from my point of view, and from like the people that have watched with me, and that's not what I was saying. I was seeing kind of an outpouring of support for you. Everyone saying, why did, Bree do this? Obviously, we know you broke the fourth wall. Obviously, we saw you go through everything that you went through on camera. We saw you breaking down. We saw the tears, we saw everything. I was really hoping that you felt that support, and I'm really sorry that you didn't. Um,
I I always say like to people when people ask me about how I deal with negativity, like um if you if you allow like positivity to breathe life into you, you'll die because of negativity. So I try to keep it even killed either way. I
yeah.
try to have no expectations either way. But you know, Amanda, you watched the show and I saw your stories, and you were questioning like what actually happened. You were questioning whether this was brought
Mm-hmm.
genuinely to Chelsea, or was this fucked up. So
Mm.
the show didn't accurately depict what happened, and
Right,
that's
that's
not
how we
okay.
started talking. You're
That's
right.
not okay. It's not okay. Maybe maybe if it's on a real estate transaction, maybe if it's on some gossip here, but on my real life, the least you could do is actually depict what transpired, because you had all the tools to.
Yeah.
And I never missed a day of filming. That's the least you could do.
So you would
And
say
I
you're
wasn't
you're you're saying have it play out like, okay, you're gonna show this anyway. At least show it accurately.
correct. You want to break the fourth wall, show that she made that call. You could have said, when we're sitting in when we're sitting in our when we're sitting in our interview seat and the producer is interviewing us, you could have said, but Brie, you did make that call to production to set up that
Right,
scene.
right, right, right,
I
right.
have I have I have I have the text right here. You know? We've
Yeah.
seen it. We've seen it on, what's that other show that I watched the other day? Perfect Match 2. I saw that on Perfect Match 2.
Oh, they
You
do
know what
that.
I
They
mean?
call them out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, like tell the full story.
So why do you think they were protective of her in that sense? Was it just for the story? Just for the...
I have no idea. This is why I question, like, I find it very hard to, like, conceptualize, like, how I continue doing what I'm doing, because if I can't understand something, then I always feel like I'm going to end up in that position again. I don't know.
But is that why you're not sleeping? You're trying to figure it out?
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what could I have done to have gotten the respect for, like, real fit, like, I didn't not turn up to set for 6 weeks. I don't disrespect people. I don't, I come and do my job and I give you everything you want. I was vulnerable this season, I was going through the hardest point in my life, but I still would stand in front of those cameras when I didn't have to. Why didn't you just give me the respect of, like, allowing the truth to play out? Why?
Yeah. It sounds like how are you feeling about reality TV now, or going back for another season?
I don't know. I think I'm in that same mindset of, like, I don't know. I have no clue.
You have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
How are you? If you could think of a silver lining of all of this, is there one maybe that, first of all, you're young, you're 31 years old, okay? You're gorgeous, you're smart, you have like your life ahead of you. I'm sure your DMs are exploding. I'm sure every guy in the world would want to date you. Like, there are things to look forward to, right?
Honestly, my silver lining, I think, would be I've gotten really strong with my faith. So, like, like, I kind of feel like stronger than ever, in the sense that I kind of feel like unbreakable, because I just know that I'm going to be fine. I know that I'm going to be okay. Not that I think you need to be religious or whatever. Everybody has their tools and mechanisms to get through whatever they're going through.
Yeah.
But spiritually, I've gotten, like, a lot closer to my faith, and that's just helped me personally, and I think that without this, I was kind of just like a wanderer, and now I'm like, okay, no, I'm just a child of God.
Yeah, and you were saying, like, probably not only in the religious sense, but also in the sense of you went through something incredibly hard and you're still here and you're still standing, and it's kind of like after you give birth where you're like, damn,
Yeah.
I'm a superhero. How did I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that?
yeah,
So that
yeah.
probably, I'm sure, also, like, you feel like you got through something, or you're still going through it so hard, but you're doing it and you're waking up and you're smiling and you're going to work and you're taking care of your kids, and, like, that must feel a little empowering, I'm sure.
You know what, Amanda, you just hit the nail on the head, because I was thinking to myself the other day, I was like, oh, nothing really scares me anymore. Like, you have certain things in your day that, like, give you anxiety or scare you. I now tackle everything with a different level of, like, oh, this is easy because of what I've been through. I'm kind of fearless, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm a superhero at this point. I'm like, everything is like, oh, everything's so,
That's
like,
chips. Yeah.
menial.
Yeah.
Everything's so menial, and so, like, I had two natural births, and I went through, like, the most traumatizing like, year of my entire life. Imagine feeling sick every day, like, sick, like, I can't eat, like, I couldn't eat, sick, and, like, crying myself to sleep, and, like, depressed, and, like, wanting to just, like, check out for, like, months. Like, once you've gotten over that hump, I kind of look back and I'm like, oh, wow,
Yeah. You feel
I'm doing
strong
good.
now.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, in the words of Kris Jenner, you're doing amazing, sweetie.
Oh my God,
Um,
thank you for this therapy session. I didn't realize it was going to be
Thank
this. I'm
you.
too tired for this.
Thank you. And thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking to me.
You're welcome. I
And I
just wanted to
really,
clear up a few things.
well, you did. So I really appreciate you taking the time. I know people love knowing the facts. They love knowing the breakdown. They love knowing the timeline, and you did that. So I thank you. I send you love. Good luck on your job tomorrow in the UK.
Appreciate you.
Bye,
Bye, darling.
baby.
Bye.